What we like. We're your hosts, Cindy and Sonia.
Join us each week as we discuss the world of adulthood with some Ratchet recap and fun sessions.
Could be petty because I have a petty spirit. So if our petty spirit is live and well,
I definitely recommend.
Because I feel like it's my page.
Right.
And I should be able to post what I want to post.
I live my life unapologetically. I do. Hey, Sonia.
Hey, Cindy.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing marvelous. I love the sunny days, the hot weather. And yes, I said hot weather because I have moved and I am in a warmer climate right now.
Yes. And I was wondering how that was going to work out for you. I got up and I was ready to do my walk, and it was 80 degrees at 8 a.m. So I'm going to try it late this evening before it gets dark out. But yeah, we're looking at mid 90s today. So I was wondering how you were faring with the hot weather.
Oh, girl, I am loving it. Like, I'm not complaining. Other people like, oh my gosh, it's so hot outside. Oh,
Yes.
I'm sweating. I'm like, is it really? Because I'm rolling my windows down. I'm letting the air flow through my fro. Like, I am loving it. I'm not
We're
complaining.
gonna see how long that's gonna last.
that's what my manager said. She was like, okay, check back with me in mid-July and see how you letting this wind flow through your fro. See how that works out for you, because it's gonna get nice and hot. But I'm okay with it. Like, I'm just fine with it. So no complaints here. I even have been going out walking the dog at 5 o'clock when it's like 99 degrees.
Really?
Walking the dog around the hotel because I'm still homeless. So walking the dog around the hotel. Yeah, but so I might even get some walks in. There's like a street that nobody travels on around the hotel, so I might walk up and down that street and get some steps in. I found my
I think you should. Good.
Yes, I found my Fitbit, so I'm probably gonna try to ease back into that. And at my job, they have a full gym that we get to use free, and we can use it on the weekends too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, and they're open till like 9 o'clock during the week and like till 5 on the weekends. So, I don't have any excuses is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, so once I get settled, I just want to get a house so I can come home and take a shower in my house, that kind of thing. So maybe next week I'll start that when my homelessness is over.
Okay.
So I for Car Chatter, I don't know if you saw it or not. I'm pretty sure you did, but I saw when I came home yesterday that there was a shooting at like a municipal building or something, or state building or something in Virginia Beach, and like 11 people were killed.
I saw that, and I looked this morning, and it's been updated. 12 now have passed, and it was a employee of the city public works department, and the person had worked there for 15 years, and all but one of the 12 dead were city employees.
Wow. I mean, what would drive someone to want to hurt an innocent person? Like, somebody didn't have anything to do with your issue. Like, whatever you were mad about, and who knows if we'll even ever find out why this
Yeah,
person really
because
did what they
the
did.
last I saw, there was no, at least no motive was given. I don't know if they don't know yet or they're just still in, well, they're obviously still in the investigation process, but there was no motive put out there as to why. I don't know if the person was recently separated from the company, terminated, or left, or if there was some issues or disagreements within the, I have no idea what caused it, but it affects so many different things, from the people that have lost their lives and their families and everything that they have to do to cope, and all the way on the other end, not so important but still has to be dealt with, a job has lost 12 or 11 employees that they have to figure out a
Right.
way how to come from there. And obviously that's not the thing that's at the forefront of our minds, but when something like that happens, it's just so far reaching and it affects so many
Well,
different things.
and think how many other employees that they will lose on top of those 11 employees. How many other employees that will be lost because I can't go back to work there, you know? So, I
Right.
mean, because I know I would have a fear of, especially if I was right there, you know, in the mix of it all, I would, you know, I would think twice about going back there. I mean, what are the odds that it would happen again? But I still, that would be traumatizing. So
Oh,
think
I
of the other
agree.
employees, you know, that they will lose, or that this will change, like you said, change people's lives behind that, you know. So definitely it's tragic all the way around. I just, those people should, if you're having those kind of issues, either talk to somebody, or if you're to the point where you want it all to end, then do you. You don't have to take innocent
Right.
people out. Like,
Right.
do yourself. You know, you don't have to take other people out, innocent people that have nothing to do with whatever you're upset about. You didn't get paid, or you feel like you were whatever. Do you, and be done with it, and don't involve other people, because I'm sure a lot of these people had kids, grandkids, husbands, wives, you know, and all of these people are affected. You know, think how that will change so many people. It's just sad. But what's really even more sad about that situation is how numb we are to that kind of stuff, just because we hear it so much. Like,
Yes.
you know, at least once a month we hear something about a shooting. So we're like, oh, well, there was another shooting, and then we move
And
on
that
to
is
whatever
true.
else.
When I first heard it, I was thinking, oh wow, another school shooting, possibly. But I didn't rush to read the story because, again, like you said, it's something that is not so much of a shock value anymore. It's almost like we halfway expect it. So when it happens, we're like, okay, it happened again. And that's not
Right.
good at all.
No, it's pretty sad that we're like that. You know, we're a society where we're almost numb to it, because I remember a time when there were shootings like this where it was on the news for hours and days, and we talked about it, and everybody was nervous, and it was just such a sad situation. Now we're like, oh, well, that's sad. Pray for the families, and then we move on with life, you know.
Right.
So pretty sad, but you know, praying for all the families that are involved, and you
Yes.
know, it's just a tragic situation. So, but I thought we could move right into this week's topic. So I saw something, and I have a friend who's dealing with this situation, so I thought it would be good to talk about. So it says, if a friend betrays you one time, does that mean the friendship is over? And betrays is kind of a strong word. I would say
It is a
disappoint
strong
or
word.
let you down. Yeah, that's pretty strong. So I would say disappoint or let you down or something like that. Is the friendship over?
Well, I think that one depends on the level of the friendship and the level of the disappointment or the betrayal. Because when you said
Right.
initially, you said betrayal, then it's like, okay, depending on that betrayal, yes, it's over. No questions about it, no thinking about it.
Right.
But then when you, I'll say, downgraded the word to disappointment, well, yeah, life is full of disappointment. So if you're disappointed,
Right.
do you automatically cut off the friendship? No, not necessarily. I think all in all, it
Right.
definitely depends on the level of that disappointment or the level of that betrayal.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. So, in my friends, and I'm putting finger quote, in my friend's situation, what happened was he was supposed to move. And he asked a friend, his friend, really good friends, they've been friends for like 30 years. He asked him to help. And as far as the friend knew, this he talked to the friend the night before and he said, "Cool, I'll be there at around 9, to help you the next morning." They hung up. Great. 9 o'clock that morning, no friend, no text. He's not responding. He's not answering the calls. And that went on for the next 2 days. He didn't show up. He didn't send a text. He didn't say anything. And so, of course, my friend, who we'll call Carlos, Carlos was very upset, because he was like, "Hey, I confirmed this with him, and he always asked me to do things for him, and I'm always there, and I never ask him to do anything for me. And this one time I do, he doesn't come through." And so he was really hurt by that. And he was like, "I'm tossing the friendship out the door. We're done. It's over. You can't trust people." He was really upset by it. And I was like, well, maybe you're just upset right now. You have a conversation with him, but now this kind of tells you where your friendship is, and not that you won't be friends. You just know how far to go when something like this happens. And so that's what made me think of this. Like, he felt betrayed because he had been there for him. And then when he asked him to do something, he wasn't there. And so they worked it out, but he does know now, maybe you don't need to, expect anything from him. Like, just don't expect it. If he comes through, great, but don't expect anything because he probably won't, come through. And so I think that's what happens, because I was in a similar situation, friends with somebody for like 25 years. Her daughter was graduating from school. She had come to all my daughter's graduations. Her daughter was graduating from high school, and my marriage was falling apart. And she knew that because we were really good friends, whatever. I had a situation. I couldn't go to her daughter's graduation. I apologized to her. I apologized to her daughter. I sent her daughter a gift. I sent some other people to go in my place. And she still stopped speaking to me. And that was, her daughter is 26 years old now. And we still haven't spoken much since then. Like, the day of her daughter's graduation, she stopped speaking to me. And that was pretty much it. And
So
so I
now
guess she
you
felt
guys are
betrayed.
cordial, or there's still not a relationship?
There's no relationship. We've probably talked on the phone 3 or 4 times in those last 7 8 years. We've probably talked on the phone a couple of times. We've said we're gonna get together because we have mutual friends, and we said we were gonna get together, and that never has really panned out. A couple of times, she's emailed or sent a text message or something, but no. And I'm assuming it's because she felt betrayed or whatever. and she just couldn't come back from that. And I felt really bad about it, because she had come to all of my daughter's events or whatever, and so I felt like she would understand because of what I was going through at the time. We lived in different states, and I
Yeah.
just couldn't get, to her daughter's graduation. So I thought that she would understand,
And I
but,
think
you
as
know,
friends, we need, especially good friends, close friends, we have to be sensitive to each other's needs and situations and what's going on at that particular time. And with you being out of state, that brings a different dynamic to it. And I understand her disappointment because obviously she felt like, well, I was always there for her, and now the tables are turned. She's not there for me. Kind of feel like it's one of those things where you may be in your feelings and you're disappointed, but you get over
right,
it and you move on
right,
because of the level of friendship. But
right,
with Carlos, I think it's completely different because they were both local, and whereas you called and you apologized and you followed it up with a gift and you made sure somebody was there in your place, Carlos's friend just ignored all phone calls and attempts at contact. So that's a different
yep,
level of disappointment slash betrayal for them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And, like you said, I think it depends on the friendship, because for me and Tanya, when we had that, disagreement, and then she just stopped speaking to me, I thought, oh, well, I'll give her a couple of days
Right.
because of the length of our friendship. We had been friends for over 20 years at that time, and so I thought, oh, okay, well, she needs a couple of days to get over it. She does know that prior to this, I have been there for her. She had surgery. I flew down for her surgery, and she had back to back surgery. She had emergency surgery. I had to come fly. I had just got back into town, had to get right back on the plane and fly back down there because she got sick. I had been there for her, so it wasn't like I had never been there for her. It was just this time I needed a pass because I was going through something. And, so I thought the level of our friendship would allow her to say, you know what, I'm not going to throw away the whole friendship for this. I'm going to be in my feelings for a little bit, and then, I'll call her later. But that never happened. But I feel like if it's just an associate, or, just somebody you hang out with, if you betray me, then you got one time. Like, I'm done. Because it's no value in it. If I'm gonna do stuff for you and you can't do anything for me, then, you know, I can let that go. So I think you're right. It has to do with the level of the friendship and the level of the disappointment.
Yeah,
So
I agree. But do you think that Carlos is going to or will be able to revert back to the level of friendship that they had prior to this?
I think that they will. I think that they will, because he really cares about him as a friend, and they've been friends for so long. And that's the kind of person that he is. Now, for me, the way my petty set up, that would let me know how you feel about me as a friend. And I don't know, I might be in my feelings for a minute. Like, and that's what I expected my friend to do. I knew where she was going with it, and I was like, okay, well, she gonna be in her feelings for a minute. I owe her that, and but she never came back around. But for this, I feel like it's a little different, because he had confirmed, and then he just went ghost. He For days, not just for that day, but to me, that's like really letting me down, because I talked to you the night before, and you said to me, yeah, we're good, everything's, and not only was he moving, but he was moving out of town. So he was supposed to help
Yeah,
him
and that's what I was
pack
just
and
thinking. It's
move.
it's a different than well, first of all, moving is a huge thing in and of itself. But when you add on to the fact that he was going out of town and said friend had agreed to make the trip with him, that just add different layers to it. So if you think this person is going to help you and you have everything planned out and then they don't show up, they don't call, they don't text, they don't answer your calls or your texts, that pretty much throws everything off and you have to alter everything you had scheduled or planned for that move.
Yeah, and it did. It pretty much changed the entire situation, because he thought he had someone to help him drive, and then you don't show up, you know, what to me that says something about our friendship, because at the very least you can text me and say something came up, I changed my mind, I can't do it, whatever. But just to leave somebody hanging, and not just that morning, but you never text them back. Carlos had to do
Yeah.
the calling,
And
you know.
I am big on communication. And I think I told you, I don't blame friend for maybe saying, "Hey, I love you, man, but I can't make the trip for whatever reason." Okay, that's fine.
Right,
But you can't come and help load and then be on your way because I'm your
right,
friend. And even if you couldn't do that because of who we are to one another, a phone call is in place. A phone call is in order to let your friend know that you can't do that. And I was trying to figure out, and I was sitting here thinking, have I ever had a betrayal on that level? And
mm-hmm,
I don't know. Gosh, I don't know that I have. And for one, I don't ask a lot of people. I don't expect a lot of people. And maybe that kind of cuts back on the betrayal and the
right,
disappointment.
right,
But I don't
right,
know that I've had it on that level. I know that there are people that I know in my life that I can depend on, and others not so much. So what I do is I have them in departments in my life. And
right,
people that I know that I can't depend on and I can't come to you like you would like to come to me, then I don't give you what I can't get from you. I need
right,
balance in my life. So,
right,
not saying that I would cut you off or I wouldn't be your friend, but I'm not going to give you my all if I know in return I can't get that from you.
right. And that makes sense. And I think I would hope that Carlos would see that, because I feel like he would have more disappointments with said friend, but I think that because of how he is, he's just going to be open again, to whatever,
And I
so
think that if they're in that place where he's still going to keep this person as a friend, then do that. But also know in your mind and your heart that this is not somebody that you can depend on. That way, you are not allowing yourself to be disappointed or put in a bad situation again because you know not to depend on that person. And you know
right.
what? I thought of one, and it wasn't
Okay.
on that level, but I was traveling and a friend was supposed to pick me up from the airport. And I was
Mhm.
getting in like midnight. And I got in and I text and I called and nothing. And I'm like, okay. And maybe
Okay.
half an hour later or something like that, I either got a call or a text that said, hey, got hung up working. And I'm like, okay, but you couldn't tell me
What?
that because you knew that I was getting in at midnight. Like you knew that my plane was landing at midnight. And I'm not mad that you have to work because hey, I understand that. We all gotta, secure the bag,
Right.
get our coins or whatever. I get that. My frustration and my disappointment and my, yes, at the time, anger was that I did not get a heads up. Hey, working over,
Right.
working late, can't make it. And then
Right.
I was like,
And
okay, no problem. I took an Uber. But you know what?
yeah.
After that, I think I may have had another trip or a similar situation and said friend was like, "Hey, I can pick you up." Nope, I'm good because what you won't do is you won't get me in that situation again where I'm out here in the
Right.
middle of the night or it could be the middle of the day for that matter. But no, I wouldn't ask that friend to pick me up from there or anywhere again because you have
Right.
shown yourself to be unreliable. And again, it's not because something came up and you couldn't pick me up because shit happens. I understand that. It's because I didn't get the common courtesy cuz I feel like you knew that. You probably knew that before I took off, before I got on the plane.
Right.
But I
Right.
definitely felt like when I got off and I turned my phone on, I should have had a text or a voicemail letting me know that you got held up. And that would have been fine because I would have known I can just get off, go, and get an Uber to my destination.
Eh,
But because I'm still thinking you're coming and I'm calling and I'm texting, I'm just saying, okay, caught up in traffic or something is going on, you'll be here. No.
yeah. And that could have been remedied by a simple text, like you said, by the time you while you were boarding probably knew. Or while you were on the flight. Just send a text. As soon as you got off the flight, we all turn our phones back on and all the messages come through. And when somebody's picking me up, that's the first thing I look to see is their message. Like, are you
Yeah.
close or, whatever. So it easily could have been remedied with a text to say, hey, can't make it, something came up. Can I call you later? And then,
But
boom, you would have got an
this is
Uber.
the thing. But then I was unreasonable and I guess a little bit extra because I wouldn't allow that to happen to me again. And I tried to explain in every way I know how to explain. It's not because you couldn't make it. I promise you that. But it's because I didn't get a heads up. And that's not something that I don't need that. I don't need that because that's just
Right.
common courtesy. That's common courtesy. That's
Right.
all that is. It's
And
common courtesy.
in all the forms of communication we have now, you couldn't get a message to me saying I can't pick you up. Like
Right.
I just don't understand. Like we have a lot of forms of communication. You could Facebook Messenger, you could Instagram, you could text, you could leave a voicemail. Like there was a lot of ways. Take 2 seconds to send a text message to say, can't make it, will explain when I call you later. Boom. That's what I felt about Carlos' situation. Said friend could have sent a text saying, hey, changed my mind, can't make it. Or, hey, can't travel with you, but I'll come and, help you pack, or
And
something.
see,
Like,
and the way that I look at it is that would have been a disappointment. Well, I'm disappointed because my friend was supposed to help me, but it turns out that my friend can't help me. That's a disappointment. And you can get over that. But
right,
no, my friend couldn't help me, and my friend basically ignored me for 2 or 3 days, saw me calling and texting, and chose not to answer my
right.
calls or texts. That's betrayal.
Yes. And, it's hurtful when it's somebody that you care about, and you would hope that they feel the same about you. Like somebody that you talk to, 3 or 4 times a week and you hang out together. And, you were probably thinking, oh, this gonna be a cool little, little trip. We gonna, hang out on the way down. We gonna hang out on the way back, and he's gonna really help me do this. And then for nothing, no response. So for me, I feel like you said, the level of friendship. Like if we have a real friendship and you betray me, then I feel like probably we will still be friends, but it may, depending on what you've done, change the dynamics of our relationship. Like we could still probably hang out and talk and all of that. But like you said, I will never let you catch me like that again.
Right.
Like I just won't let you do that again. I know how far to go with you and what to expect from you. So, and maybe that's how my friend felt. Maybe she felt like, she couldn't deal with me anymore or whatever. I think it was unfortunate, and mainly because up until that one incident, I was the giver and she was the taker in the relationship. Because in some relationships it's not always balanced. One person
Yeah.
gives and the other person takes sometimes. And I was the giver. I was always there to listen. I was always, there to do stuff for her and all this kind of stuff. And
But
I rarely got that
can
in
I tell
return.
can I tell you this? I have had a lot of those friendships where
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the word friendship lightly.
Right.
And I think the older I get, the less obligated I feel to those relationships. Because I do think that obviously we're going to have some of that in our life, but I'm more in a place now where I need that balance because I
Right.
can't always be the giver. I can't always have you pulling from me. I need us to level the playing field a little bit. And some
Right.
people are just not capable of that. And I've had some of those people that I have made a conscious decision to distance myself from because everything that you're pulling and requesting of me, I can't pull and request any of that from you. So then you look
Right.
at it to what value does this relationship, this friendship, this interaction, what value does this bring to my life? And now I'm at a point where if I'm not getting value from it, what's the point?
Right. Well, and that's later why I felt like, okay, well, I'm all about things happen for a reason and energy and all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this is the universe telling me that friendship wasn't any value to you because I was the giver and she was the taker. But I was okay in that role just because that's the way our friendship had started and went on for 20 years. And I just, was okay. I settled in on that. But when that happened and she let it go so easy, not even with a conversation, because after several months, well, after a month or two, I saw she wasn't going to bounce back. I tried to contact her, and she wouldn't contact me. And then even after like a year, I sent something and said, hey, I understand why you're upset with me or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then I started thinking, wait a minute, what am I getting from this? Like, okay, what was I getting from the relationship? So maybe the universe was saying, hey, this wasn't something you really needed anyway.
Right.
So I'm okay with it now. I feel the same way if I'm not. I feel that way in any relationships. I need to I need to be of value to you and you need to be of value to me. Like in some kind of
Right.
way. And not all relationships are going to be 50-50. I get that. as I get older, I understand that everything's not going to be 50-50. Sometimes you'll give a little more, or sometimes you'll give a little more this season, and then next season you'll get a little more, So I understand that because we go through things, and I might need you this time, and you might need me next year this time, or 2 years from now. But if I feel like I couldn't get it from you, then I don't know what we're doing. I'm too old for that now. Like, to have a bunch of friends just to have a list of friends. I need friends with value. And I hope that people feel the same about me. Like, they just don't have me around just to have a list of friends. Like, I add some sort of value to the friendship, So, but anyway, so I just thought that was a good conversation, especially since I saw that little situation play out in real life. Like, a little betrayal happen, and, but you're right. Level of friendship, level of disappointment will determine where we go from here. Because I think everything depends on age now. Like, everything that happens, I see a situation in my over 40 versus under 30 and under. Like, everything looks different over 40. Like, you can cut stuff off quicker. You can dismiss a little quicker, So I just thought that was a good subject to talk about. But now we can get to Ratchet Recap. Okay. So I had something to talk about on Ratchet Recap. I was like, oh, I'm going to call Sonya and ask her. I was like, nope, I'm going to save it for Ratchet Recap and see what she think. Okay, so did you see, and I love Porsche. Did you see that they trying to say that her husband been cheating and she hired a detective?
They're not married.
Oh,
yet.
Well, her almost husband, her fiance, that he was cheating and she hired a private detective and he been messing with some chick and porn and all kind. Like, what's going on,
okay,
Dennis?
So
No,
I did not. I saw an article, or I think I saw something on YouTube that says Porsche and Dennis over. And I just didn't click on it. I'm like, no, I can't. It's like, no. And then I was thinking it's probably not true. And then I saw a second one and I was like, okay, I guess it is true. But no, I didn't listen to the video. I didn't look at the video. So they're saying that she did hire PI.
Right. So I didn't read, and I'm kind of on the same wavelength, like, because I was so excited for her that she found the boo and she got the baby, and I just wanted her to win.
I couldn't read the article. I didn't want to listen. I was in denial.
Like, it was so disappointing. And, I know what people say about reality TV shows and all that. And yes, I do watch them. And, you get semi-invested in characters just like you do on any other TV show that you watch. And I really like Porsche. And I think she comes across as that kind of chick that you could be friends with. Like, she seems like just a regular chick. And when she was excited about meeting Dennis and then having a baby, I was excited for her because she seems like she's been through a lot as far as relationships. And so when I saw that come across on Thursday, I was like, oh, here we go. Somebody trying to come out with, some bull just because she happy, And then I saw it again yesterday. And I didn't watch the video, but I kind of skimmed the article, and it said something about she hired a private detective, and she had unfriended him on social media, and her family unfriended him, and then she followed him again, but her family didn't, and something about something she posted, and so I was like, oh my goodness, like I just wanted her to be happy. Like I was just pulling for
Yeah,
her. Like
I think that it could possibly blow over. So now, obviously, I'm going to have to go and read the article and look at the YouTube video. But hopefully,
yeah.
there is, it's not what it appears to be at this time. And I think I follow her on Instagram, and I haven't really seen
Uh-huh.
anything out of the box there. So, which if this is true, I'm happy that I haven't seen anything, because I was thinking when you were talking about Porsche and the reality shows, what I've seen from her, and the thing that I'm liking from her is that from the beginning when she got on to this point, I think that she has shown a tremendous amount of growth and maturity. And I have nothing but respect for that. So if she is going through something, or the turmoil or whatever is happening in her relationship, I'm happy that I did not see that on her Instagram or anywhere like that. And that was the one thing. I did see the video on YouTube, but I didn't look at it. But I kind of referenced back to her Instagram, and I really didn't see anything where she had posted anything, or it didn't appear to be any cryptic posts or pictures or anything like that there. And obviously, I don't go to check and see who has unfollowed who, or who, like that's doing a lot. But so
Right.
hopefully it's not as bad as it seems, and maybe it's something that they can get past, work out, or if not, just I hope that she's good.
Same here. I just that just really I was like, wow, when you just see somebody who really wants a relationship and a family and all that, and they get it, and it seems like he really loved her. I was just excited for her. So to see that kind of stuff in social media, which whether it's true or not, probably is hard for her anyway, because she has a new baby and then having to deal with all of that. I just hope, like you said, that it all works out for her and for the both of them, and they can keep it together. And you're right, I haven't seen a lot of stuff from her, so that is a lot of growth from her. But she has seemed to be like she matured over like the last 2 years or something. Like she's made a shift from the Porsche that was on there in the very beginning. So I'm
Yes.
hoping everything works out, and hoping that this was all somebody's, evil plot to destroy them, and they don't let it destroy them. So hopefully it's good. So that's all I have for Ratchet Recap. All right, so I guess we'll talk to everybody next week.
Bye.
Bye.
If you would like to share your comments or let us know what you think about the episode, please email us at whatwelikeink@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at What We Like.
Make sure that you guys are doing what you like this week.
Because we'll definitely be doing what we like. Bye.